Hey, thanks for stopping by, everybody. Today I'm going to try a new format. Don't know if it's going to work. A lot of people ask me about coffee and what I drink and what I like. And I happen to have gone and told my family for Christmas, what do you want? I want coffee, different types, all sorts of stuff, right? So I'm going to try all sorts of stuff. And I got cameras set up, so we're going to do little individual videos. Videos are only probably be like 2 minutes long a piece. I'll put them on YouTube, Facebook, God only knows. So today I'm going to start off with Jiva Coffee because Bill Neer over at Jiva Coffee, talking back and forth in the comment section, he's what kind of prompted this. He said, "Oh, I want to send you some coffee, right? Just talk about it on your channel." And we did a while ago, but I was like, maybe I could do like a legit, we're going to talk about coffee in different types. So this is the live stream. I don't know if I'm going to leave this video up. We'll see how it goes. Probably going to be pretty boring because a lot of it's going to be me grinding grounds, putting them into the French press or loading them into the Keurig little K-cup thing or whatever and deciding whether I like the coffee or not. So Jiva Coffee I've had for a while. Unfortunately, I am out of their Jamaican blend, which is my favorite, and I'll have to get more of that in the future and make a Jamaican blend coffee. Because that was good, and I just haven't reordered any because he sent so much Jiva. He's been like 4 pounds of Jiva coffee of different types. And so what I'm left, I have just a little bit of the French roast left, and that's what started me with we're gonna make coffee. And that's my tea kettle. Ready to make coffee. So I've got that stuff pre-ground, and I'm gonna turn the cameras on, and I'm gonna make the French roast Jiva coffee. Hold on, I need to put something in the way of that light, because that's gonna drive me crazy. Piece of cardboard or something. Sorry if this is super boring, new format and whatnot. See if I can get this old cardboard box in here in the way of my super bright blinding light. So I'm having my eyes the whole time. Nano engineering. Much better. All right, so we're going to mix up some of the Jiva coffee, and I'll shoot the video for it, and then take all your comments and questions. So, there it is. All pre-mixed. Hopefully I didn't forget anything. Oh, yeah, might help if I had water. All right, today on Free Field Training for our coffee tasting, we have French roast Jiva coffee. Jiva actually sent this coffee to me, and they even put my little logo on there, Free Field Training. Coffee is the best friend of the Midnight's Patrolman, which is exactly what I am this month. And so we're going to take a look at their coffee. We're going to use my favorite method for making coffee, and that is the French press, at least when I have time. When I don't have time, I just get coffee from the gas station at 3 o'clock in the morning. But we're going to try to give the coffee the best chance that it could for impressing me. We're going to put it in the French press. That's the way I like it. So without further ado, and then I'll probably put a little audio montage of something I found in there, to make this exciting. Because this is fun for me, but it's not exactly exciting for a viewer. And now we let the coffee steep for 4 minutes. So we'll be back in about 4 minutes, and we'll press it and see how it tastes. So now I got 4 minutes to kill. 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll give it 3 minutes. I wish I had some creamer. Oh well. We'll caffeinate the old fashioned. Oh man, I got my powdered French vanilla creamer. I guess that'll do. We'll put it in after I've tasted it and told you what I think about just the base coffee. Because otherwise people will be like, hey, put creamer on it. But I like creamer in my coffee. Alright. Let's see what everybody has to say. I know this isn't the most exciting free field training video you've probably ever seen. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hello, everybody. Good morning from the UK security scene. Good morning. Hello. Travis says, you got me hooked on Black Rifle Coffee Company. My wife won't drink anything but coffee or die now. I've never even tried Black Rifle Coffee. I'm not Mike the Cop. Sorry. This is free field training. I do police product reviews and educational videos. So, but I haven't tried Black Rifle Coffee. Nobody really sells it around here. I'd have to order it online. Maybe I'll get some in the future. Lee Matthews says, I needed some good coffee this afternoon at the end of the last shift. Yeah, I just woke up. I'm actually on days this month. I just woke up. Kids are going to school. They got like special person's day or something at school, and I'm not special enough to go. And the wife's there volunteering, so I was like, hey, I could do this project. It's like 20 below here, so I could do this project that I've been putting off for a while because I don't want to sit outside and make coffee, but I can do it right in my kitchen. And other than the stupid light coming in, I say we're doing all right. We'll see how it comes out. Voice of Reason says French press is the best. I like it. I think it allows you to make the coffee the way you want to make the coffee. When you put a K-cup in, a K-cup's okay. It's coffee. It's brown. It's caffeinated. That's all I really ask of most coffee. But you put a K-cup in, it makes it however Keurig decided to make it. So some of it comes out like tasting burnt, and some of it comes out like water. With this, you can kind of decide. You try your coffee, then you decide. I want it a little stronger. Next time you let it steep for 4 or 5 minutes. I want it a little thinner. You don't grind it as much. You grind it a little more if you want a little more flavor. It tastes too burnt. It's ground too thin. So you get to kind of custom make your coffee the way you like it. Fire Reaper 35 says, good morning from the Baltimore County Dispatch. Good morning. Voice of Reason says, great for camping. Oop, there we go. For camping, I actually prefer a percolator, but that's probably just because that's what I've been using for decades. Camping with the Scouts, you put the coffee pot onto the campfire. So we're going to push the plunger on this bad boy here, and then I'll restart the camera back up over there, and we'll start off right where we left off with the comments. You're going to have to excuse my messy kitchen. I stopped caring several years ago. All right, so let's push that plunger and give it a try. So, Jiva's French roast I've had for a while, and it is second only to my favorite of the Jiva line. Jiva's Jiva's French press. Bleh. So Jiva's French roast I've had a lot before, and it's second in my opinion in Jiva's coffee is only to their Jamaican roast, which I really really enjoy. See, what I like about Jiva's coffee, their French roast and the Jamaican roast the most, and what I taste a lot here, is the not burnt flavor. Some coffees, no matter what you do to them, you have a burnt flavor to the coffee. It's not smooth. Now, Jiva provides this coffee to like steakhouses and stuff, and like you can see, they put my brand on this one. They brand their coffee as all sorts of stuff. So when you get coffee at a ritzy restaurant, very likely you're getting Jiva's roasted coffee, and it's just repackaged with that restaurant's name on it. It's a very smooth coffee. Both the French and the Jamaican blend. We'll do Jamaican blend in the future, and it's pretty heavily caffeinated, which I like. It's not like make your heart pound like crazy caffeinated, but it's smooth and it's rich, and it gives you enough caffeine to get your day going. Or at the end of dinner, it doesn't have like the super strong flavor. It isn't going to make your heart beat out of your chest, but you can feel a little bit in it. So when you're sitting at the table and you got full belly and you grab your coffee and you take a few swigs, it gives you a little extra energy so you can get into the conversation at the end of the meal. It's really good stuff. All right. So for more coffee reviews, or if you're looking to learn about police equipment and stuff, the other things that I do, check the link down below. I'm going to put the coffee review link right up there. Till next time, you guys stay safe. The last of my butter cookie creamer in here and make new coffee. Actually, put this into the cup that I use all the time at home. Save this for the video. I will admit, I have never even watched a coffee review on the internet, so I have no idea what people are looking for when they come in to find out about the coffee that you're making. Kill these cameras. I've got battery. I want to auto shut itself off. Anybody want some? Put this back on, grind up some other stuff. See what else we got today. Then we got something that's already ground. Something's supposed to pre-ground, so I'm going to have to fire this baby over. Oh yeah, Death Wish coffee. That's where it's at. My brother-in-law got me this. I don't know if he got whole bean or if it's pre-ground. Hopefully it's, oh yeah, it's whole bean. Death Wish has got the old school bag. Hopefully it'll bust it open, trying to get it open. gonna cut this. That's a little easier. Probably just scoop the right amounts to start with, so that way I don't have to measure anything. Actually, you know what? I'll keep the Jiva coffee here. This is good stuff. If anybody's here actually looking for coffee reviews and you see something I'm doing terribly wrong, let me know. Again, not a paid professional. Not even paid, really. All right, so grind this. So a little cup, so it looks good for the video. Should do her. A cup of coffee here. Fire this back up. And I think we're ready to take some more comments and questions and whatnot. I'm surprised nobody's asking me anything police related. Everybody's popping on here unless I'm getting that many people actually wanting to hear about my opinion on coffee when they don't know who I am. All right. Great for camping. We talked about the camping. I prefer a percolator for camping. I think maybe it's just because my French press is glass. I don't know if I want to take that camping or not. But I do like a percolator for camping. Pennsylvania Fugitive Recovery Team says, have a good day and be safe. I will. I'm home today. I got to work tomorrow, and it's supposed to be something like 50 below zero with the wind chill here. So I'm going to be busting out all of the cold weather equipment tomorrow for work. Sean Collins says, good morning from Brantford, Canada. Drinking my Tim Hortons coffee double. Now, is double the creamer that you're using? Because we have Dunkin' Donuts here has double creamer that they sell in the store. Average Outlaw says, afternoon, police officer from Garden of England here. I steer clear from tea and coffee at work because you never know when you'll next be able to pee. Well, I don't. Because I never know when I'm next going to be able to sleep. And very often, it's not for a long while. So, coffee's kind of my life here. Little Pimp Esket says, I'm drinking iced coffee. I got my Jiva coffee going from the last review. Good stuff, they're French roast. Sensi says, I'm just back from having coffee with the cop. And now you're having coffee with the cop again. Grab some coffee, let's all talk about it. Gaming of Zeke says, morning from Charlotte, North Carolina. Good morning. Sensi says, this is pretty cool. I'm glad you like it. I don't know how it's going to go. You know, like hanging out in my kitchen, we're making videos. Ever try drinking cold brew concentrated coffee? I've had cold brew. I've had cold brew coffee. My brother-in-law, the same one that got me the Death Wish coffee, he really likes cold brew. And so he keeps it in the house. He gets the frou-frou cold brews, and he gets the like 0 and 5 calorie cold brews. They like come pre-made. and you pour them out of like a milk jug. It's good stuff, especially in the summer. We have summer parties, and having cold brew coffee around is nice. Sean Collins says, I agree with that. I'm working the Continental Night Watch. Yeah, dude, nights. That's the brown stuff's the only way to go on nights, as far as I'm concerned. Grant Campbell says, what type of patrol car do you have now? I'm currently using a 2017 Ford Explorer. It's all-wheel drive. I think it's a 3.6 or 7 liter. I don't know. They keep changing the engines slight ways. I've got a Code 3 MX something or another light bar on it, and a Federal Signal siren box. Or no, I'm sorry. I think it's a Whelen siren box, and it kind of sucks because it's all identical buttons. Getting messages from people. I'm sorry about that. All the buttons are identical, so you have to like look down to see what buttons you're pushing, and it's at like 32,000 miles now. So we'll see if I'm up for a new squad. I don't think I'm going to get one for a while though. It works, and in the weather like this, it's the Explorers are nice. They're all-wheel drive, and the all-wheel drive systems you can feel when they kick on, and they're nice. It's nice having the option instead of a two-wheel drive car. I still kind of miss the Crown Vic in the winter though. You spin the back end around and stuff. Corey Andrews says, good morning. Hope you're having a great day. You too, man. I love Boats One says, shots fired against Mike the Cop, LOL. No, a lot of people see, like, they see a police something, and they hit it, and they're like, it's Mike the Cop, and hey, Mike. Well, I'm not Mike. Never even met the guy. Antonio Mardano says, what shift do you like to work? I like to work midnights. And we're going to start the video again before my water gets too cold to make coffee out of. So, put my Jiva coffee away there. Fire up the cameras. There's one going. There's the other one. Well, apparently I've had that one going for a while. I should probably shut that off, turn it back on again. All right, today on Free Field Training, we're taking a look at Death Wish coffee. My brother-in-law bought this for me, so Death Wish didn't send it to me. Not that I wouldn't take a bunch of Death Wish coffee if they sent it to me, but they didn't. And this is called Valhalla Java. And we're going to give it a try today. I've tried Death Wish coffee before. It was like a couple of years ago. What he got me was the whole bean coffee, so I've already ground it up. And we're going to use my favorite method for making coffee today, and that's a French press. And we're going to try it without creamer or anything else in it, so I can give you a better idea of what the coffee's like, what it tastes like. Death Wish coffee, of course, is known for being really heavily caffeinated and also delicious, so that's kind of what I expect today with it. So, without further ado, we're going to get into making our coffee. We're going to start with our grounds here and some water that I've already heated up. If you want to watch these types of things live, subscribe to my YouTube channel. There's going to be a link down in the description. I do police product review videos and stuff, and that's kind of how I got into coffee, is that coffee's my shtick. And I really enjoy it. Working midnights, you got to stay caffeinated. So, we're all loaded up. We're going to give it 4 minutes and come back. We're going to see what it tastes like. All right, set the alarm again. Here we go, 4 minutes. Pull my Jiva coffee back out here. Take some more comments. Can't believe there's 30 people watching me repeatedly make coffee in the morning. I'm going to make some toast here. You guys should be really excited. All right. Travis Bolton says, yep, just mixed up my cop YouTubers. My rookie status has been confirmed. Sorry, man. It's not a big deal. We kind of look alike. We're both bald. Both got big noses. We're both fat and ugly. You know, it is what it is. But I'm a different guy, and I don't live in the same state. Jeffrey says, good morning. Good morning. Mark Hungwell says, take it easy on the cream. I do take it pretty easy on the cream because I'm lactose intolerant. I can only have so much of it. So I don't have a choice. Creamer is pretty much all I got anymore as far as dairy. I can have some cheese, and I can have some ice cream, but I've actually switched from like, I used to buy ice cream, I love ice cream. And I went to ice cream bars for a while. I did Magnum bars or Fudgsicles or stuff so that I could portion better, which is, got that whole fat guy problem. And I've switched almost entirely to either Fudgsicles, which are pretty small portions, or chocolate covered frozen bananas. Because I really like ice cream. I like frozen treat stuff, but I'm really lactose intolerant. And so I've actually had to start switching to like non-dairy creamer and stuff, which sucks. But I still put creamer in my coffee, but I do have to be careful how much I put in, especially if someone else riding in the car with me. You don't want to be in a car with me after I have some creamer. Mr. Morris retracted his message. I don't know why. Bry Uchalalana. I'm sorry, I can't pronounce your name. I'm trying. Bry Uchia says, I want to say probably the taste to hang, how you just basically explain it. That's how I would have thought that they just me. And I do like my caffeine too. Yeah, I don't know what to say on a coffee review. Other than saying things like sour and sweet and bitter, stuff like that, which I'm sure we'll get into as we go along. I'm just kind of giving honest impressions of what the coffee's like. Voice of Reason says, already have some of my French press. Sun is not up on this side of the world yet. Oh, it's alright. Sun's barely up here. Barely. It's only 8 o'clock, 8:30 in the morning or something here. Just got the kids off to school. Mr. Morris says, and now the real show begins. Brandon Steve says, any bourbon with that coffee? LOL. Nope, no bourbon with the coffee. I try to not mix my uppers and downers. Ken 4G says, looks like a pain to clean up. A French press isn't really that big of a pain to clean up because it all disassembles. So you do have to disassemble it to clean it, but it's not really that big a deal. I mean, you if you're watching a live stream, you watched me clean it. I mean, like, you just basically rinse it out every day. And then every couple of days, I disassemble the head unit of it. Basically just unscrew the little basket end and filter strainer thing. You rinse it all off, scrub it off. You start to get buildup on it, scrub it off with, a little wash, like a scrub brush. One of the scrub brushes for dishes with some Dawn dish soap. Rinse it off really good, set it out to dry, reassemble it the next day. It's fine. It's really not a big pain to deal with. I thought it was going to be a lot worse with the French press when I first started using it. It isn't. Mr. Morris says your bathroom is going to smell like an outhouse in the Colombian mountains after this. Probably. I'm going to have a lot of coffee, but that's all right. I drink a lot of coffee every day. Voice of Reason says, oh, there's my timer. Pouring that coffee down the sink was pretty terrible, LOL. Well, here's the thing with my sink. This thing got stopped up right after I moved in here, and I actually had to tear the wall out to change the pipes. So when I changed the pipes, I changed them all the PVC pipe, and I expanded the bore a little bit, and I made sure they actually went downhill, so that the grounds make it down. Also, especially in the winter, like in the summer, I just throw that out. I throw it outside because it's good for the grass. But in the winter, it is -10 out right now, and I don't want to open and close the door a lot because then the furnace is going to be on more. It's going to make it harder to make the videos. MS Innie says, what coffee are you using? Right now, we're on Death Wish coffee. Voice of Reason says, 50 below, it's freaking 65 here. Yeah. Well, with wind chill, it's supposed to be -23 without wind chill and -50 with wind chill tomorrow when I'm working. And that's on days. Not pleasant. Mr. Morris says, don't worry, you'll still be awake and ready and early for duty because of this. Yeah. All right, so push this back a little. We're going to start our cameras back up. We'll drop the plunger. And we'll talk about Death Wish coffee. All right, so it's been 4 minutes. We're going to push our plunger down here. make ourselves some Death Wish coffee. Forgot to shut the sound off on my phone. All right, so Death Wish coffee. Death Wish coffee is very smooth. I haven't had this in a while, but it's as smooth as I remember. It's one of the few coffees that I'll drink without creamer at all regularly. Like I'll just pour Death Wish coffee in a cup and start drinking it. Now, it's known for its caffeination, and one of the great things about it is that you can have a boatload of caffeine without adding a really harsh taste because Death Wish coffee is pretty smooth to start with and it's highly caffeinated. So when you need like a real big jolt, or if you're like me and you have kind of a resistance to caffeine already and you got to stay up an extra midnight shift that you weren't going to have to stay up before, like me, you can make just normal coffee with Death Wish coffee. You don't have to use 3 times the amount of grounds or anything like that, and you still get a delicious cup of coffee. And if you really want to screw around at work, you can make really strong extra grounds coffee in the community coffee maker with Death Wish coffee and give your boss a heart attack, which I've done before and is really fun. So as long as you tell people up front that there's Death Wish coffee in the coffee maker, people generally really like it, and they don't suffer any cardiac issues. But it definitely has its purpose. And the only thing I don't like about it is there's so much caffeine in it. It's so heavily caffeinated that I can't drink it all the time, because even with my resistance to caffeine at, 10 o'clock at night when I have to go to bed at midnight, I can't have Death Wish coffee, which is unfortunate because it's delicious. It's smooth. There isn't a harsh bitter flavor out of it, no matter almost how you grind it and put it into the French press. I really enjoy it. It's one of the only ones that I'll drink without creamer. It's one of the only ones I'll drink without creamer. And in fact, if you're watching this on the live stream on YouTube, you'd see that I'm just going to keep this cup without creamer. I'm probably going to drink this the rest of the time. So, if you're looking for a strong coffee without a strong, heavy, nasty flavor, Death Wish coffee is your way to go. All right. Ooh, I got more viewers now. Death Wish coffee. It's so good. Do them side by side here. So you throw creamer in a coffee. It's to mellow out the flavor. This doesn't need mellowing. I should have put this on there. Hold on. See, with a coffee with creamer in it, you need the cream to mellow out the flavor of the coffee. This doesn't need creamer to mellow it out. It's mellow all on its own. So unless you really, really like the flavor of the creamer, you don't need creamer in this coffee. It's fantastic. Well, until next week, guys, be safe, take care of each other, and give this Death Wish coffee a try if you're a morning person. So, until next week, guys, be safe, take care of each other, and give this Death Wish coffee a try if you have to be up really early in the morning. All right. It's so good. The only downside with a French press is you get a lot of stuff in the bottom of your cup generally. As you know, coffee doesn't grind uniformly as a general rule. And if it's thin at all, if any part of the coffee is thin, the grounds themselves, you're going to get sediment at the bottom of your cup. That's really your only downside, this type of stuff. So now we're going to try coffee cults, which I've never even heard of before. We're going to give that a crack. I'm going to have a good laugh if this ends up with me, like, giving up on the police videos thing entirely and just going directly to coffee marketing. I'd be alright with that, honestly. This is the only thing I'm about as passionate as I am about police work with. We're going to have some time here with grinding and reheating this kettle. I think I'm going to start doing half batches with the French press again. That seemed to work really well this last time. I don't need a whole 24 ounces of coffee. Oops. I should have made 24 ounces of Death Wish coffee and put it in the old Free Field Trading cup. So I'd have it for later, but what are you going to do? My wife's grandmother, getting real close to the end. She's like 93 years old. She's kind of losing her faculties. We're going to go visit her later today. So I'm going to need to take some coffee with. Maybe Death Wish coffee wouldn't be the best decision for that because probably going to be there really late and I got to be up for work in the morning, but yeah. It's delicious, it's worth it, right? Get so used to having kids around, you unplug everything when you're done with it. One more. That's perfect. Put our little cup here and we'll take some more comments and questions from folks about coffee or police work or why I'm so fat or whatever. People making fun of my coffee making methods or the fact that I'm lactose intolerant. Got a little time on the pot over there. Let's pull you guys back in again. Hopefully these come out. If not, we had a fun experience, right? Sean Collins says, double equals 2 cream, 2 sugar. Oh, it's a slang thing. That's okay. I think that's what it means here too. Like, but they sell double creamer. So you put a certain amount of creamer in, you get 2 creams, 2 sugars. Oh, somebody put $2 in the donut fund. So hold off on that. We're gonna go down and find them and see what their comment was. We're gonna jump right for anybody that puts money in the donut fund. We're gonna go right down and we're gonna go to their comment or questions. Daniel Erickson says, any chance it was named after Charles Bronson? LOL. Who? What? I don't understand. Throw a comment in here and explain what you're talking about. I'd love to talk about it, but I don't know what you're talking about. This is what I hate about it, like not being, we don't have an immediate conversation. I guess it would be really hard to. Oh, the movie Death Wish. I don't think so. I think it's because it's got a lot of caffeine in it. It's delicious. All right, we'll go up to the top. Go back on my line of comments up here. Great for camping. Hold on. What kind of patrol car? We're getting there. We're getting back. All right. So, Gennaro J. Galinio says, hey, Tommy, have you heard of Peacekeeper's batons? I have heard of Peacekeeper's baton. That's the one that's like a lead pipe, right? Played with one once at a class. Like all batons, I'm not a fan of friction lock. Friction lock baton is where you have to like bang it off of something or hit it off the ground to get the thing to close. It's all well and good if it's just like big major emergency, I need to use this baton, but I have regular use of a baton. I mean, not every day, not every week, but several times a year, it's stick time. And you don't always have time to go back to the car and get the stick. When it's stick time, so you have to go with what you have on you. And I really like having push button batons to close up when you're done, so that way you can put the thing away and it's completely secured. That's my favorite. A Peacekeeper baton, and they also weigh a lot. I don't off the top of my head know what they weigh, but they weigh almost as much as having a gun. And at that point, I can think of other things that I could carry for that weight that would probably be more useful to me, especially since my monadnock baton has always worked, doesn't have to be heavier. If it was a push button, I might think about it more, or if the baton was the only weapon that I had. So if I was working security, or if I was a cop in a country that didn't carry guns, and I had an option of batons, I would probably more heavily consider the Peacekeeper baton. Or maybe if I didn't have a taser, or if that was the only thing I was allowed to carry was a baton as a less lethal weapon, I would think more seriously about the Peacekeeper batons. That being said, I've only used it in one class. We played with it a little bit, and I was like, it's nice, it hits pretty hard, 'cause it's got the weight behind it, but you know, it's still like an ASP friction lock where you have to close it up. It's probably more durable than an ASP friction lock. They put that much metal into something and it's not more durable. They screwed something up, you know. So it's probably going to hold up better than most friction lock batons, but you still have to knock it off of something to get to close, and that's kind of a no-go for me for the police work that I do. Cinny says, just passed my local PD's exam onto the eligibility course in 47-page background packet. Yeah, the packets, not just for the background, but like the pre-employment packets around here can be pretty extensive. I applied, before I got the job I have now, I applied at Crestwood for, Crestwood's part-time. And their background investigation packet wanted everyone that you had lived with in the last 10 years. And the previous 10 years, I had worked at a scout camp and lived in a dorm, like a bay. So imagine 20 to 40 guys living in this bay, and they wanted the names, addresses, and home phone numbers of everyone that you had lived with in the last 10 years. I'm like, even part-time jobs in the summer? Oh yeah, everyone. I'm like, I lived in a dorm, like a big bay. Like, we all had to live together. That's a lot of people. You're talking a couple hundred people. That was fun. Nathan Eanes says, -30 up here in Canada. Yeah, but that's Canada. People don't expect that here. People's pipes freeze in Chicago. Like, we get -5, -10, -15, but you start getting into -50s, people's pipes freeze here because the houses aren't built for it. Daniel Erickson says, someone has to like midnights. I do like midnights. Lots of people like midnights. Lots of people like midnights. I mean, obviously not everyone, but lots of people do. I enjoy them, honestly. Let that cool for a second so don't burn up the coffee. Sean Collins says, you still working tactical? Working tactical? I don't even know what that means. Work patrol? I don't have a trainee right now. I'm a field training officer. So sometimes I have a trainee, sometimes I don't. Right now we haven't hired anybody in a little while. I don't have anybody. Which is kind of nice when it's this cold. I have enough trouble just dealing with keeping myself warm without dealing with babysitting somebody else. Christian Kane says, good morning from Austin, Texas. I haven't caught a live stream like this in a year. Hey, happy to have you. Stop on by anytime. Put the little notification bell on, and I do these whenever I can. I don't have a set schedule. Contrary to popular belief, this is not my full-time job. A lot of guys I know are out there, their full-time job is YouTube. They get into it, they do it for a while, and they're like, I'll make a full-time job out of this. And I couldn't make a full-time job out of this. Half my stuff gets demonetized. I would never make enough money to do it. If I had 1 million subscribers, I probably wouldn't be able to do it full-time. So I can't be like, at 4 o'clock today, we're going live. I don't know what I'm doing 4 o'clock today. Let alone tell you a week from now, because it's not a work schedule. You know, if work calls right now, we're shutting this off, I'm going to work. That's how it works. Bri Unchala Uchicha says, how about any tips on joining and the people who do not know how to read that good? So is that like a dump like that should work on my reading? All right, so here's the thing. If English is your second language and you're not 100% confident with reading and writing English, and you're going to be a cop in the U.S., especially north of the Mason-Dixon line, right? Like, you're not really solid with your English, because I can't talk for Southern agencies. They might have a different thing. But up here in my area, if your English isn't great, go to a community college and they have English classes that are like English 096, 095, 097, 098, and it's to get you to the College 101 English classes. So if you speak English but it's not fantastic, or your reading and your writing isn't fantastic, but your speaking is okay, you take these classes and they will help you. It costs a little bit of money, but it's an investment in your future if you're trying to get into law enforcement or really any job. The better your reading and writing skills, the more marketable you are to private companies too. So I highly suggest that if you're trying to come into the job market, you're having trouble because of English proficiency, go to community college, take their English, 07, 097, 098, 099 classes. And in major metro areas like this, every community college does them. Corey Andrews says, do you carry an issued shotgun with your gear, or do you just have the long rifle? What is your preference with the shotgun and the rifle? I own a shotgun. We have good shotguns at work. I don't carry my shotgun at work because the ones that we have at work are great. My rifle, I carry my rifle at work, and that's what I have in the car. And if I need a shotgun, normally if I'm going to carry a shotgun in the car, it's because there's two of us. And we're going to use the rack, and we can only carry one rifle and one shotgun. Or if we're going to dispatch a deer that's been hit by a car or something, we don't have really any other options around here. There's no place to like rehabilitation centers for deer. We'll go get a shotgun and come out. But our shotguns work great. I do prefer 12 gauge 1-ounce slug if I'm going to use a shotgun. Before this gets too cold, we're going to make some coffee. Get right back to that. Right back to talking about guns. All right, today on Free Field Training, we're going to once again be talking about coffee, our little coffee tasting. And today we're going to be talking about Coffee Cult with K's. My brother-in-law bought this for me. Coffee Cult didn't send it to me. And I've had a little bit of it before, but we're going to have the tasting of it now. I'll tell you a little bit about what I actually think about this coffee. Now, I've already pre-ground the grounds, and we're going to use my favorite method, which is a French press. I think this gives it the best effect, and it allows you to more perfectly tailor the coffee experience to your needs and likes. We're going to pour our grounds in here, and we're going to pour our water in, and we're going to taste some coffee. Coffee's kind of a passion of mine. Being a cop, I work a lot of midnight shifts. If you're interested in police work, let's say you're coming into this just from the coffee reviews, you work midnights, especially if you work midnights outdoors, you'll probably like the rest of the channel as well. Not just for cops, but security, tow truck drivers, EMTs, stuff like that. A lot of people, tow truck drivers, long haul truckers. I was a trucker before I was a cop. You'll probably like the rest of them. So stop on by, check some other stuff out. Or if you just like cool gadgets. Got lots of cool gadgets on the channel. So we're going to give this about 4 minutes to steep. And then we'll push the plunger down and give you an idea of what we think about Coffee Cult. And if you want to be part of the discussion, I live stream these coffee reviews. Just subscribe and hit the little notification bell. All right, back talking about guns. So, do you carry an issued shotgun? All right, we talked about the shotgun thing, shotguns and rifles and whatnot. A lot of people ask about shotguns and rifles. Really, it's a tool for the job. So if you got to dispatch a deer, a shotgun's really good. If you've got someone barricaded inside a car, a shotgun with 1-ounce slug is definitely the way to go. Lots of 223 rifle rounds don't do all that hot going through cars. To break this to people in real life, lots of the 223 rounds, especially little varmint getter rounds that police departments tend to issue out to people, your little 45 grain, 55 grain soft point rounds, they don't do real hot going through any type of intermediate barrier at all. So it's a car door, and it might go through, but you're not going to have a whole lot of effect after it goes through. Especially car windshields, those little 55 grain soft points, they'll punch through and just come apart. So you get like little tiny pieces of the round, but nothing that's got any punch behind it. You're not getting the same effect that you get on bare gel or gel behind, 4 layers of denim and whatever else everybody's doing now to say that their round is good. In real life, 12 gauge 1-ounce slug works really well versus cars, and it still has punch when it goes through. Like a 12 gauge 1 ounce slug, in my experience, will punch through a door of a car, go through the car, punch through the other door of the car, and still have enough force on the other end of the car to kill. So if that's what you're looking for, is to still have power when it gets all the way through, 12 gauge 1 ounce slug is the way to go. Obviously, buckshot gives us other options if we're going inside a house, but really for indoors, I'd rather have a rifle. Bry Uchaya says, I do know there and there, but it's kind of bad, Mark. Okay, he's talking about English. English is a pain in the butt. I'm not going to lie to you. English is a pain. Ooh, I should set my timer. English is a pain in the butt, man. I'm not going to lie to you. Keeping track of tenses and stuff in the English language can be difficult. So I'm telling you, the best you could do is community college thing. It's probably going to help. And if your trouble is writing, then you need to get into writing classes and get to where that's not an issue for you anymore. Nicholas Barlow says, morning, Tommy. Good morning. Kodiak Survival says, what state do you live in? Illinois. And if you're the Kodiak Survival guy, you probably live somewhere much colder than here, but 50 below zero is pretty cold for us. Danielle Erickson says, morning, what's the coffee again? Right now, we're looking at Coffee Cult coffee. Christian Kane says, do you prefer the infuser to a coffee pot? My fiance got us a Keurig, and I miss making a full pot of coffee. I have a Keurig because I'm the only one in the house that drinks coffee, so if I need like a quick cup, I can hit the Keurig. Otherwise, I use the French press. That's my preferred methods. Mr. Morris says, I retracted my comment earlier because you pulled out the death wish as soon as I posted it, LOL. That's my online way of saying, as I was. You were going to ask about Death Wish coffee. Well, Death Wish coffee is one of my favorite. It's just really caffeinated. Steve-O says, 48 degrees in South Carolina where I'm on patrol. Not too shabby. Hey, tactically minded. Stop him through. Go check him out on Instagram. Tactical minded. He's got a big Instagram following. Bill B says, good morning. Have you tried any selections from Black Rifle Coffee Company? No, I haven't. I may have to go buy some. If people like these videos and they watch them and stuff, I'll probably go buy some Black Rifle coffee. All I know is what I've heard. Pump Shot says, sup. A Jeffrey07 says, percolator is very lifting when the power is out. Well, that's why I really like a percolator for camping. Or big events, you get the big percolator. But for camping, a percolator is great. Because all you need is fire. And water in your coffee. And you got coffee. Voice of Reason says, no, I wasn't worried about your sink. I just thought the waste of good coffee. Well, I mean, that's why I'm starting to do the half loads here. All right. Let's, I'm going to push the plunger on this before it gets too cold. Get some good coffee going. And we'll have more discussion. Somebody's already talking about Voda, so that should be a really fun discussion to have. Get these cameras back going again. So it's been 4 minutes. Time to push the plunger on our Coffee Cult coffee. You can already tell this is a pretty dark coffee. It's pretty opaque. That's my timer going off. You can already tell this is a pretty dark coffee. It's pretty opaque. Let's twist this around and pour herself a cup of Java here. All right, so Coffee Cult says there's a whole bean Arabica coffee. Give it a shot here. No cream or anything. It's got a little bit of a bite, a little bit. I would almost call it like a sour aftertaste. It's not terrible. with creamer. It would probably smooth out if you're not into a harsher coffee. I can't vouch for the caffeine in it because I haven't had enough to say, oh, this is really caffeinated or it's not caffeinated at all. If you like a very strong, flavorful coffee, this might be the way to go. And if you're not opposed to a slightly sour aftertaste, Coffee Cult, it's interesting. Give it a second slurp here. It doesn't burn on its initial sip. So it's like some coffees, they have a burnt flavor, and this doesn't have a burnt flavor. It's pretty smooth all the way to the end, and at the end you get kind of a sour note. So if that's the type of thing that you like, and you like a strong coffee, I didn't put a lot of grounds in there, and this came out pretty strong, and it was ground the same way I grind all my other coffee and put in the French press the same way. This might be for you if you like a nice, strong, flavorful coffee. So, until next week, you guys stay caffeinated. Very strong coffee. See, the Death Wish doesn't have the same aftertaste. It doesn't have that same sourness. But it is getting cold, so we're going to switch them out. Put a little bit of my non-farting creamer in here and go back to some comments. I want to thank all 36 of you for continuing to hang out with the boring guy drinking coffee this morning. Nice to hang out when I'm making videos. See, Coffee Cult you need creamer for, in my book. It's not bad, not at all. It's got that sour note at the end. You got to kind of even it out. See, that's a little better. Gives a little flavor to cover that sour note. Let's kill this off here. This back on the stove. Make something else. What do we think? What are we done? All right. We're going to do Kicking Horse coffee. Because it says it's smooth, savory, and seductive. Seductive? This is going to be a funny review. Because I'm making fun of the seductive, I'm going to tell you that much right now. Seductive coffee. Makes me want to leave my wife. It's so seductive. End off this bag. Feels like whole bean. So that'll be nice. Alright, yep, whole bean. Get this into the grinder here. Make ourselves some more coffee. The little tie that keeps the bag closed came off. That's upsetting. So now I gotta engineer a way to keep this on. I really enjoy the coffee companies that make a Ziploc bag coffee. You know what? We're going to talk about that with this one. We're going to talk about that. Just grind up. That's about right. Fire up my kettle over here. Get ready to make some more coffee. Yeah, plenty of water there still. All right, let's take some more comments. Now that we're all ready. Daniel Erickson again. Hey, thanks for throwing the $2 in the donut fund to make a joke. Mr. Morris says, Death Wish coffee because meth is illegal. It's about right. I use baking soda and water when my coffee pot gets too much foggy. Okay. I scrub the crap out of it with with Dawn dish soap, but your method probably does work better. I'm not saying I'm a coffee expert. I just like what I like. Christian Kane says, anybody see what the first coffee was? I got here late. The first one we did was Jiva Coffee. Jiva Coffee sent me like Free Field Training branded coffee. I wasn't selling it. They were just like, we're going to send you some coffee if you talk about it on your channel. Oh, you like good coffee? And this is like one of the best coffees out there. A bunch of steakhouses buy this coffee. And I got it. It's really delicious. Their French one is good and their Jamaican one is fantastic. I'm ordering more of their Jamaican stuff. So that's Jiva Coffee was the first one. I think I'll put a link to all of this down in the description for you guys. The Missouri Ham Guy says, finally able to make another live stream. Love your channel. KE0OUO. Hopefully that's your ham handle. Daniel Erickson says, Death Wish. Kodiak Survival says, what time do you wake up for work? Depends on what shift I'm on. Hold on. So if I'm on day shift, like this month, I am up at 5 o'clock in the morning, which is always fun. We'll let that cool for a minute. Mr. Morris says, yeah, it's a Jiva French roast. Yep. Nicholas Barlow says, thank you for all the videos. I just finished FST. I got 3 months left. I'll be a peace officer in Texas. Hey, congratulations. Glad you like them. Thank you, Mr. Morris. Missouri Ham Guy says, love the Mosin next to the fridge. Yeah. It's my house. It's my home defense rifle. Daniel Erickson says he did the movie Death Wish I was talking about, yeah, from before. Daryl McClin says Charles Bronson, the movie's Death Wish, yeah. Mr. Morris says Autolock batons are my preference as well. Asp Autolocks suck, by the way. I've never used, like, Asp make the Talon, and I haven't used one. People at work have them. They say they're all right. They like them. So, they like them, they like them. I don't like the friction lock Asp batons. I've broken them. People come on I did a video very early on about breaking an Asp friction lock baton. I'm like, they don't break, I love that. That's the greatest thing ever. Well, they're garbage. They're garbage. They're temporary. They're not great batons. Yeah, sure. There's batons that are worse. They're like single-use batons. But I've seen lots of friction lock Asp batons broken. So I don't suggest them unless you don't plan on ever using it for anything. It's like an emergency tool. Like, well, I work out in the middle of nowhere and I'm going to use this baton and hopefully it doesn't break. If it breaks, so what? It's $70, cheap insurance type of thing. Then fine, whatever, if that's what you can afford. But if you can afford a push button closing baton, get it. Daryl McClennan says, that's what's protecting the shoppers at Target when they're unarmed. What do you think of that? What? Target doesn't have armed security. Their people don't even have, at least around here, they don't have batons or pepper spray or anything. They just have handcuffs. Target's uniformed security division. We had a Target in town for a while. Mr. Morris says, shout out to Monadnock. Yeah, I just wish I could pronounce their name better. But Monadnock. Daniel Erickson says, airweight Aspatons thoughts. Why? I get that they're lighter, and if that's all you can carry, I mean, they were designed for like, I think the idea of the airweight Aspaton was, it was originally for agencies that wanted their detectives to carry batons. One, why? If a detective needs a less lethal tool, the baton is probably not going to be the best one, especially if you're going to carry an airweight Aspaton. And two, they break. Three, they're slightly more expensive. So I don't really see a point in the airweight Aspatons. If you're having back problems and your agency requires you to carry a baton, totally. But that's a workaround type of thing. Just like having airweight batons for detectives is a workaround type of thing. It's not preferable. That's like a detective carrying a Glock 26 instead of a real duty weapon. It's like, well, you have to carry a gun. It has to carry over 9 rounds. It has to be at least 9mm. And you're like, Glock 26, because I'm in an office all day. But I don't see, for using as a baton, I wouldn't use an airweight. Mason Melody, opinion on 2 to 3 extra mags for security. Whatever floats your boat, like, you should carry an extra mag when you're working if you're carrying a gun. That I'll grant you. If for most situations, the rounds that are in the gun, if you've got a double stack mag, are going to be more than enough. But you should carry at least one spare magazine, and not actually for the extra capacity, but in case your gun breaks, most of the time it's a magazine issue. And so you just drop your old mag, rack it a couple times, put a new mag in, and that solves 99% of problems with handguns. So it's a good idea to have a spare mag, and beyond that, it's what you feel comfortable with. So I would just buy, if I was working armed security again, I would just buy, and I was going to make a rig for it, I'd buy a double mag pouch and put it on there. I don't think anybody's going to think you're Rambo with 2 extra mags, and I don't think you're going to be undergunned with 2 extra mags. So we're going to get on with our Three Sisters Kicking Horse Coffee. I wonder if Three Sisters is the name of the particular coffee? No. That's the type of Kicking Horse coffee. We'll get back to batons here in a moment. So today on Free Field Training, we are going to do a coffee review. And today's coffee is Kicking Horse Coffee, and this is the Three Sisters Medium. Now I'm reading it because there's a lot of the information on the front of this that I want to comment on. The bag is where we're going to start. Normally I go immediately to making coffee. We're all ready to make coffee in my preferred method, the French press. But the bag itself actually struck me. I'm doing this live. I'm live streaming this on YouTube. I'll put a link to the live stream down below in case you guys are interested. It's like an hour and 9 minutes into the live stream. But this Three Sisters coffee, the first thing I noticed about it was I tried to cut the bag open on the live stream, and the little folding tabs here that you have on bags of coffee, it just came off. So it's supposed to be glued on, and it popped off the bag, and then I had to cut the bag open. So first critique, before we get into the coffee, I don't know what the coffee tastes like yet, is that I would really prefer most coffees come in some type of bag that has a Ziploc opening on the top. It makes it easier to get in and out of it, and then you don't have these types of problems, and I don't have to cut something off of it. Great example is this bag here. You can kind of see it's got here. We don't want to talk about what coffee brand it is, but it's got a pull tab on the bag. You just pull tab it off, and there's a Ziploc underneath. That's kind of my preference. That's just my preference thing. So on this, it's Kicking Horse Coffee. This is the Three Sisters variety. It's medium, and it says here's their description: smooth, savory, seductive. Smooth and savory, I get. Seductive? Can't wait to taste this coffee. It's seductive. So we're going to do like we normally do. We're going to pour the coffee into our French press. Throw a little hot water out of our kettle here. We're going to make ourselves some seductive coffee. We're going to let that steep for about 4 minutes. We'll push the plunger down. We're going to go back to our comments. Asking about batons. It always brings out the crazies. I already saw somebody, an ASP instructor's on here talking about it. Let's see. Hold on. We're going to talk about proper technique and getting enough velocity with your wrist, right? Let's find out. Rob Stevens says, as an instructor, both are viable. Friction lock in conjunction with the side brake scabbard, however, the ASP Talon disc lock for the win, my personal favorite. Like I said, I haven't used the ASP Talon disc lock. I know a lot of people really like ASP. I'm not a fan. A lot of their products I think are total hot garbage. And I know that would keep me from ever getting anything free from them or them giving me money or any of that, but I think a lot of their stuff is hot garbage. They make stuff based on what they think they can sell to an agency or to somebody that doesn't know what they're doing, and then they get people to hawk their stuff. And I've been to their classes, and a lot of it is convincing people that the technique should meet their equipment. And their equipment should meet proper technique. And that's always been my opinion. Your baton should work no matter which baton you grab. So the techniques you use with your straight stick baton, your big old honkin' wooden baton, and the baton you pull off your belt should feel about the same. That's why I like a 21-inch baton, because your 21 to 24-inch baton is your normal size for a straight stick baton you're going to have on your belt or your extendable baton. So try to keep them all the same size so we have the same swing, the same follow through, the same technique, the same distance with every baton we use. I really don't like bringing out the big old honkin' long baton because I can't use it the same way. And since I'm pretty good with the 21 to 24-inch lengths, I don't like the big honkin' one, but that's what the agency issues. I don't like when ASP comes out with new innovative things that break or don't work really well for their intended purpose, like their handcuffs that flex. Now, they finally fixed that, and they came up with a handcuff that doesn't flex, but why did you make a handcuff that doesn't, no, you never gave this to someone who's like, hey, use this for a while, and they tried fighting someone in the cuffs and found out, hey, this doesn't work. And then they hide behind, and a lot of people hide behind should never be fighting someone in the cuffs. You get complete control of them before you put the cuffs on. Yeah. Welcome to real life. That's not how it works. Not 100% of the time. There's the classroom and what should work and what you teach at the police academy, and then there's real life. And here on this channel, we're talking about real life. And in real life, ASP makes some products that are really good. And they make some that are hot garbage. So you can't just go by what name is on that product, because some of them are terrible. Absolutely terrible. When they make good stuff, I'll tell you about it. If they make terrible stuff, I'm going to tell you about that too. If modded knock, you don't see me saying modded knocks friction lock batons are great, because I don't like them. But everybody asks about ASP batons, because they think because I'm a cop I should like them. And I just don't. I haven't found one of their batons yet. Haven't tried the Talon disc lock. Haven't found one of their batons yet that I really like. And I've broken a bunch of them. Mason Melody says, did you like the Safe Life belt? I'm considering getting the tactical one. I like the Safe Life belt. My problem with it is it doesn't come in basket weave, so I can't use it at work. And I got 2 of them in my garage, and I can't wear them at work because we don't use nylon belts. If a nylon belt is okay with your agency or company, they're a great belt. We lifted a car with one. That was no BS. That's why I live streamed it on Instagram. And then we put that live stream on Facebook. So the live stream is going to stay forever, so I can point people to it. You think this is a Flexio commercial? There's the live stream. We really didn't know if that was going to work or not, moving 4,000 pounds with a belt. But it worked. I was kind of crossing my fingers that it would. But if it didn't work, we would have just gone to towing a car with the belt. Because I think either one would have been impressive. Lifting 4,000 pounds is cool. I like the micro molly. I don't know whether agencies are going to allow you to use micro molly or not. On the belt, I think that might become a tactical cool guy thing, having the micro molly on, more than it is a police thing. But they also make one that doesn't have the micro molly. And I'm a little biased. Safe Life Defense doesn't send me money to do these videos. They just send me products, and I give a lot of it away to people. But They don't send me money, but I'm a little biased because I helped them design the belt. Like they sent me the first couple prototypes. We're like, what do you think of this? I was like, well, this one you can kind of curl the edges a little bit when I push on. They're like, nobody here can. I'm like, I'm gonna show you. And I sent them a little video on Instagram. And Nick over at Sable was like, all right, well, we'll make it another layer thicker, so you can't do that. Like I had a hand in like saying, hey, this is good, this is good. What do you guys want to do with this? I think you should go this route with it, you know. And so I'm really happy that it came out so well. I just wish I could use one at work. Because if it came in basket weave, if they even like pretended and like stitched some basket weave on the outside of one of their belts, I'd be using that sucker at work. I really like it. I really like having a Cobra buckle and having a belt that's strong enough for you to rappel on if you wanted to. And I have no doubt that would work fine as a rigger's belt. They probably should put a D ring on it so you can use it as a rigger's belt. I have to ask them about that. Wes says, applied for the reserves in my city. I'm still in college and I'm hoping to get experience before applying to the state. Oh, good luck. The Missouri Ham Guy says, I asked you about the security badges in the wallet. If you're forced to work with a guard you can't stand, how can you make the job less distasteful like you had mentioned before? Oh, I never did get around to doing it. I was going to do a live stream just on the CCW badges and the badges in the wallet. I should add that to my list. Send me an email so I remember to do that. I'm going to add it to my list. I don't think I remember to add it. So it's like that with any job. If you work with someone you don't like, you have to find common ground. And one of the commonest grounds people find is food. And that's why the coffee thing's been a shtick on the channel, you know. But there's people at work I don't really get along with, but man, we both like bringing in a hot plate and cooking in the patrol area at work, you know. Like, gotta find common ground. For me, with a lot of people, that's finding food we both like. All right, we're gonna push the plunger down on this before it gets too cold. This stuff has seeped a whole lot. We'll get right back to comments here. All right, so it's been a little over 4 minutes. We're going to push the plunger down on the Three Sisters medium roast coffee we've got going here. We'll see how seductive it is. It sounds seductive. Smells good. A little bit of like a, not burnt, but like a slight, burnt. A little bit of a burnt smell off the top of the coffee. And I've made it pretty much the same way as my other coffees. You watch this on the live stream on YouTube. I'll put a link to it down below. You'd see that I'm making all this coffee pretty much the same way. It is very smooth. It's surprisingly smooth. It's very similar. It's a little lighter, but very similar to Death Wish coffee. If you've had Death Wish coffee, it has a very smooth flavor. I could definitely drink this without creamer. Which most coffee I like to put a little creamer in, get a little extra flavor. But this I could definitely drink without creamer. It's good, just coffee on its own, but it's not the hyper caffeinated like Death Wish. So it is smooth, savory. I guess it tastes like coffee. It's got good flavor. Seductive. I would just have put had I wrote the tagline for this, I would put Kicking Horse Coffee, Three Sisters Medium, smooth, smooth, smooth. It's a very smooth coffee. I've never had this before. They didn't send it to me. My brother-in-law actually bought me a whole bunch of coffee for Christmas, and that's why we're doing these reviews. But I could drink this without creamer, and I really like it. This might be a good coffee for later in the evening. I don't think it doesn't say anything on there about it being over caffeinated, like a heavy caffeine coffee. So this might be something good if you don't like creamer in your coffee, or you're going to try to get into coffee that doesn't have creamer. This would be a good place to start. So, until next week, guys, stay caffeinated. I'm honestly surprised that's as good as it was. I'm going to have a little more of this. We're going to have a chat. Let's talk some more about police gear. We're going to go for the longest live stream yet, since everybody's out of the house. How many different coffees are you going to compare this morning? I got a few left. I've got Caribou Coffee Mahogany. I've got, all right, the Death Wish we already did, and 2 other Kicking Horse coffees. So we got 454 and Kick Ass Dark. So there's 3 more. I don't know if we're going to get through all of them. I ain't got anything going on, so I may just stay here the whole time. Hour and 20 minutes. This video made $2 from a guy that wanted to make a joke and wanted to make sure that I got to his joke. So we made $2 in a couple hours, $1 an hour. That's about what I'm used to making on YouTube. So we'll make some more coffee and we'll talk about more police gear. I love just hanging out with you guys. So. Hello, Headcrab says, good morning. Have you tried Black Rifle coffee? If so, what sort do you recommend to try? Thanks. I haven't tried any Black Rifle coffee. I only know it by reputation. Nobody sells it locally, like in a store here. I'd have to order it online and just haven't. Of course, I've got piles of coffee because I told my brother-in-law, you know, and all my family, like, hey, you know what I need for Christmas? Give me all different types of coffees. And they got me a whole bag of coffee for Christmas. James Wilk retracted his message. What's with people in doing that? Voice of Reason says, as an English as second language person, I'd say English is pretty easy compared to German. I don't speak a lot of German, so I don't know. I'll take your word for it, though. I am definitely not going to go to Germany and try to be the police there. I get a lot of messages from people from overseas. They're like, what would I have to do to be a cop in the United States? I'm like, dude, I can't imagine switching countries to be a cop. That seems... And then to come to the U.S., that seems like a weird thing to do to me, but a lot of people are really excited about it. Daniel Erickson says, negative 23 in Des Moines right now. Gotta love working security in this brisk weather. Negative 23 is pretty rough. And yes, I'm outside. Well, good luck, Daniel. Keep your coffee warm. Bri Uchetta says, where's your coffee sharing buddy? I got 3 buddies running around. Cats don't like me too much. Dog's around here somewhere. She's probably sleeping. She doesn't care for videos. Shyla Bella says, Caribou is my favorite. Haven't gotten to that yet. I haven't had Caribou coffee before, so that'll be fun. Booch says, whatever is on sale. At 2 o'clock in the morning when I'm looking for coffee at the gas station, that's pretty much what I get. What coffee is here? Mr. Morris says, it's 39 degrees here in Seattle. I don't want to hear any more complaining about cold weather from you people. 39 degrees. Dude, that's spring here. All right. Let's get some more water going. I just got this kettle. Before, I was making coffee with the French press, and I would just boil it in a pot, because you know I'm a cheap ass like that. So, got this kettle for Christmas along with the coffee. Let's get this going. Don't need it that fast. Put this Caribou, this Kicking Horse coffee with the defective thingamabob around it. We'll try some Caribou coffee. Maybe we'll call it for the day after that, I don't know. Nah, probably not. See this Caribou coffee here? This is another one that doesn't have the Ziploc top. Dump this. What do you guys think? Should I post these on YouTube or Facebook? I don't know if this really goes with my YouTube channel all that well, to be honest with you. Like, this might be a way to direct people when people ask about what coffee I'm drinking, direct them to the, I don't know, everybody else that's, all the other tactical guys do coffee commercials on their YouTube channel, so maybe I'll do the same. I don't know. Screw it. I'll probably just post them all up on YouTube. Let me know. What do you think? Think I should post these on YouTube or put them on the Facebook? Either way, it's been a fun experiment with you guys. Oh, dog's back. What's up, dog? What's going? What did you eat? You gotta go out? Time to let the dog out. Come on, I'll let you out. Don't knock my camera over. Go on. My dog has this problem. It appears we froze up.